Welcome back to another F4 lap guide. This week we're at the Hungaroring, which is easily one of the most technically challenging circuits of the entire season. And I find that especially these long duration corners take so much time and effort to figure out the right braking point, the right line through the corner, and especially the right place to hit the throttle to make sure you maximize your exit and carry a ton of speed down the straights. But fortunately for you, I have put in the work so that you don't have to. So let me take you for a lap and show you how to put together a 142.5 around the Hungaroring. Coming across the line to start our fast lap as we hurdle our way down the front straight into the tight hairpin, turn 1. The key to this corner is peeling off the brake early so that you carry a ton of speed through the apex and you don't over-rotate the car on entry. We're going to be braking hard, just at this conveniently placed white line in front of us. All the way up to maximum brake pressure. And we want to make sure that we're braking in a straight line. And as soon as we bring it down to second gear, I start to turn in the corner. But I want you to look down at the bottom corner and see that as I turn in, I peel off the brake. It's really important that you peel off the brake when you're turning in to make sure you don't overslow the corner and to make sure that you're not over-rotating. So we're not carrying very much trail brake into the apex, but we want to get hard on the throttle at the apex, second gear, third gear, bring the car back to the right-hand side, setting up a very challenging, long-duration left-hander. The key to this corner is managing how you get back onto the throttle, because the car always wants to oversteer at the apex, but then as the road falls away on the exit, it'll want to understeer. So we need to be patient on the throttle, but also making sure that we're not oversteering at the apex. I'm going to initiate the turn-in and just begin braking right at the start of the curbing on the right-hand side. We're only braking to about 85 or 90% pressure, but you can see I've already started angling the car towards the middle of the corner, and I'm now braking in a straight line. As we come further into the corner, I drop it down to third gear. I slowly turn in towards the apex, being very gentle on the brake and waiting to get back to throttle. As we get closer to the middle of the corner, it's very tempting to get back to throttle, but we need to wait to let the car rotate through the apex. And just about at this Marshall post on the left-hand side is when I'm going to get it back to throttle. But as we can see, the car is going to start oversteering, so we have to be very gentle with how we get back to throttle. Just a little slight oversteer there, but we're hard back on the throttle, using all of the road on the exit. And we have this immediate fast right-hander coming afterwards. And then we want to turn in really early through this fast right-hander. We don't need to go very far to the left, but as long as you turn in early enough, the car will rotate nicely through the corner and you won't understeer off the track. So as we're in fifth gear, we're coming into one of the most challenging turns on the entire circuit. And that's because you're braking and turning in at the same time, all while not being able to see the apex. So I'm going to angle my car to use all of the curbing on the right-hand side so we can maximize the radius of the corner and maximize our speed through the apex. We're going to be turning in and braking just at the start of this curbing as well. It's important that you turn in early because if you turn in too late, the car will understeer off the track. I'm carrying a good amount of trail brake into the apex, but then getting hard on the throttle over the apex, trying not to use too much of the curb on the right-hand side. Immediately bring the car back to the left-hand side to set up a fast, long, sweeping right-hander. I find that with this corner, it's really important to have a light brake to keep the car from oversteering and to allow you to carry a ton of speed into the apex. So we're turning in early and we're actually braking before we bring the car back to the left-hand side. Down from fourth gear, a really late downshift into third gear. So we carry a ton of speed into that apex, just missing it by about a foot, but we're hard on the throttle through the exit, not completely understeering off the track, just barely missing that 1x off track. But we're now headed into a right-left chicane. We want to absolutely abuse the first part of the chicane, but then just tap our left side tires on the curb on the left-hand portion to keep ourselves from understeering off the track. It's a bit hard to spot my braking point, but we can see there's a little bit of a crest we're going over as we go into this corner, and just before we hit the top of that crest is when I hit the brakes. It's a very quick brake though, and we're going to be immediately peeling off to help rotate the car into the corner. Just down into the third gear, it's a hard brake. We can see 90% pressure, but then I'm going to immediately start peeling off as we turn in towards the apex. You can see just there, I'm abusing this apex and I'm already back on the throttle to keep the car from oversteering and to keep it stable as we jump over this curb. Hard on the throttle, not quite to 100%. There we are, 100% throttle. In third gear, just touching our left side tires in this curbing on the left-hand side. Third gear, fourth gear, into a challenging and fast chicane. We're going to sacrifice all of our speed through the apex on the left-hander to make sure that we stay tight to the left-hand side and allow us to get a great run through the fast right-hander. We want to be very gentle with the tires through these fast corners as well to make sure that we're not inducing understeer. So I'm just going to be lifting off the throttle early, just barely dabbing the brakes, letting the car roll speed through the first apex, getting hard back to throttle, and then immediately peeling off early again, letting the car roll speed again through the apex, and then getting hard on the throttle, trying to get a late apex through here. I'm going to show you that again. Just trying to get a late apex to this right-hander. It's really easy to turn in too early, get too early of an apex, and just completely understeer off the track through here. Trying to get that late apex, hard on the throttle, in fourth gear, using the road on the exit, coming through this fast left-hander, which is an easy flat-out corner, but again, setting up tight to the left-hand side because we have a very fast right-hander. Again, just trying to be gentle with the car, lifting off the throttle just at the start of this curbing on the left-hand side, only to about 20% throttle though. And then we're back hard on the throttle as we get to the apex, again trying to get a late apex like the previous corner to keep ourselves from understeering off the track. Hard on the throttle in fourth gear, fifth gear, don't go too far to the left there. You'll bottom out, you'll get a 1x off track, and you'll be slow all the way down this straight. Coming into a tight 90-degree right-hander, the car will always want to oversteer at the apex and then it wants to understeer at the exit. So it's really challenging and you have to be very patient with the throttle. We're braking just after the start of the curbing on the left-hand side. A very hard brake, 100% brake pressure. But again, as soon as we start turning in, the car's going to want to over-rotate. We need to peel off the brake, make sure that we're fully off the brake by the time we hit this apex. I guess we're about 5% brake there, but nearly fully off the brake as we hit the apex. Getting hard on the throttle, the car wants to understeer. Third gear, fourth gear, coming into the last two corners, a long sweeping left-hander, a long sweeping right-hander. With these corners, it's just so important. Carry a ton of speed into the apex and don't get on the throttle too early because we want to get great exits from both corners. For the first left-hander, I'm looking at this Marshall post on the right-hand side, and that'll be my braking point. It's a quick brake to about 60%, 70% brake pressure, immediately peeling off, trying to be gentle with the car and roll as much speed through the mid-corner as we can. We're being very patient on the throttle, but getting hard back to throttle at the mid-corner. Using all this road on the right-hand side, immediately hustling the car back to the left-hand side, setting up the final corner. We're just going to be lifting off the throttle and gently dabbing the brakes, trying to carry a ton of speed through the apex and get a great exit onto the main straight. So we're going to turn in really early for this corner, right about here. And as we turn in, we're just gently peeling off the throttle and just barely dabbing the brakes and dropping it down to third gear very late in the corner. So just lifting off the throttle there, a gentle, gentle, gentle brake, just dropping it down to third gear. And as soon as we get past the start of this barrier on the right-hand side, we're going to be hard on the throttle, using the banking of the corner to give us a ton of grip, using a lot of this road on the exit, but not quite all of it. We're a bit conservative there because we had a good lap going, didn't want to ruin it, and we put together a 142.564. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. I appreciate all the support. And in case you're wondering, yes, I'm still in a walking boot. So I did in fact map my hand clutch to a throttle so I could put this lap together. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you have a great week of racing, and I will see you guys next time.